Welcome to 82 Toothpicks, a podcast from the Huizinga Law Firm. I'm Thad, and I'm joined by Ethan, Amber, and Jocelyn as we break down our favorite movies and uncover the estate planning gems hidden within them. From comedies and dramas to family sagas, we're talking about the films we love and the legacy lessons they teach. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's talk about the movie. Welcome back to 82 Toothpicks, everybody. I'm Thad, and this week we are continuing our series for recent Oscar Best Picture winners. But, however, just like in the world of estate planning, sometimes we see a plan that we think is a good plan, and we realize very quickly that it's actually a terrible, awful, vile plan.
Horrible, no good, very bad plan.
That just is bad for everybody involved. And that's kind of what happened with this week's movie.
Indeed.
So the movie Amber suggested.
I'm sorry. What?
Hold on. Let me back the bus up, and we'll run you over again.
Yeah, that was terrible. Re-record the intro, please.
No, we're not going to re-record. The movie we were supposed to watch, I'm not going to name it because I don't want us to get sued. But if you look at the 2023 Oscar winner for Best Picture, I don't know what they were thinking.
I'm not going to name it, but I'm going to give you all the details so you can go find it.
As an amateur movie reviewer at this point, everybody on that panel should have been fired.
That has extreme opinions about this.
I do. So I looked
and that's fair. His experience was not great.
I looked into Oscar voting and how it works, right? And
really?
Essentially, this is a ranked choice system. You know what ranked choice voting is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Ranked choice voting is actually how Hitler got in charge in Germany, and the same thing kind of happened with this movie. I do.
Wow.
I do. Here's how I feel.
There's a lot of lies right now.
So essentially, this year, about half the voters put.
You're talking 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
Half the voters had their favorite movie. And half the voters did not have a favorite movie. And this movie consistently finished in the middle. And based on how their scoring system worked, it got enough points to beat every other movie. So it became Best Picture, not because it was everybody's favorite movie.
Because it wasn't everybody's least favorite movie.
Correct. Not
Oof.
enough people voted it poorly that it outscored all of the decent movies that year. Now, 2022 was a rough year for movies. Hollywood had been closed for 2 years at that point.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
They weren't pumping out bangers like they have the last few years or for 70 years before that. But this one, I think, kind of won because no other movie beat it in the way the scoring method should have.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that.
So it's just kind of there, luckily.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we called in a pinch hitter.
We did.
I slacked the team the other day and I said, we can't do this movie on the podcast. And they all agreed. And then we picked a movie that I like and we needed a suggestion quick. And who wants to tell us about the movie we picked?
We watched The Guardian.
We did.
2006 Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay. Was not nominated for Best Picture. Maybe it should have. I guess we'll get to that.
I guess we will.
I guess we will.
Stunned silence.
What's this movie about?
It's about the Coast Guard.
Okay.
That's it.
What apt analysis?
The Coast Guard.
It is about the Coast
It is
Guard.
about the Coast Guard.
Specifically, it's about search and rescue swimmers.
Yeah.
In the Coast Guard.
I actually am interested in how you would talk about this movie.
Sure.
Because this is a movie you like and that you kind of said, this isn't a good one.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in what you have to say to describe it.
Okay. This movie is near and dear to my heart. As a seventh grader when this movie came out, I had been on the local swim team for a while. It inspired me to launch my career as a lifeguard, which I maintained for 8 summers.
Nice.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal. The main character is from the great state of Iowa. I would say other main character might be in the most famous movie about our state.
Agree.
Field of Dreams.
Agree.
So for me as a little kid, this was a big deal movie. It I would say had a great impact on many of my choices, and it was a big deal in my friend group too. We were all super into this movie.
Nice.
So, what's it about? It's about the Coast Guard.
Yeah. It's about the rescue swimmers and rescue swimmer school. Oof, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Luke described it as if like Top Gun was the Coast Guard.
It's an interesting way to put it. Kind of similar.
Kind of similar, yeah.
The most recent Top Gun movie is a seasoned veteran who knew his way around, who gets a job teaching at a school. It's almost like Top Gun ripped it off, but whatever.
Pretty sure Top Gun came out first.
The first Top Gun's not about a school. The second Top Gun ripped off The Guardian and Star Wars.
Anyway, The Guardian.
And Star
Star Wars.
Have you seen Maverick?
No, actually.
Oh my gosh! In the theater,
Maverick is like Star Wars?
I was like, that's no bigger than a Womp pretzel or something like that.
Bullseye Womp Rats.
Yeah, exactly.
T16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
Yeah.
What's happening? What is going on?
Okay, so it's about the Coast Guard Academy.
The podcast very nearly devolved into a Star Wars episode.
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
Yes, swimmers academy or right, a school, I think is what they call it. Rescue swimmers, which are the people that jump out of helicopters to help when somebody's boat capsizes or they get stuck in a storm and get thrown overboard. Things like that. Emergencies at sea that are not a boat emergency. They're actually people that they're rescuing. And just the pressure of being in rescue swimmer school. And the story is Kevin Costner essentially bringing up through this school the next great rescue swimmer.
Yeah, fair.
Played by Ashton Kutcher.
That's it.
Who is also a Bears fan. Bear down.
Del Bears.
He actually is, right?
He's a huge
big
Bears fan. Like texting coaches level Bears fan.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Like
You can do that when you're Ashton
this
Kutcher.
guy does
I
tape
can't do
analysis.
that.
He's got a barn on his property, and he has an entire like studio where he watches games and analyzes film.
That's amazing. I wonder what his command center's like.
He probably has
I bet
more
it's
than 4
amazing.
monitors.
Probably that, or they're gigantic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Ashton Kutcher.
Sure. General impressions of the movie. Had any of you heard of this or seen this before?
Oh, yeah.
I had heard of it because you talked about it. I
Okay.
had not seen it before. I had not heard of it before you suggested it as a possibility.
Okay.
I've
agree
seen
with
it
Ethan.
before.
2006 was one of those. You
Was that
lose
those-
a whole chunk of time when your kids are babies and toddlers, and
Yep.
this
Speaking of 2006,
for us.
the 2006 Bears made it to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
Jay
Del
Cutler.
Bears.
Brian
No, that was
Urlacher.
not Jay Cutler.
Who was it?
That was Rex Grossman.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Huh. I know.
They made it to the Super Bowl on their defense. Anyway, we should not talk about the Bears. This is not a Bears podcast.
If
Even
it
though
was, though.
Even though I really want to.
So they live in Kodiak. Wait, that's a Bears thing.
Yeah, so the movie starts out in Alaska, right? And then there's a sequence of events. They rescue they go out and do a rescue. That's where the movie opens. You get to learn some things about relationships and people on the show or on the movie, and then they go out for another rescue. And that rescue goes bad.
Yeah.
Very, very, very bad.
Yeah.
And
Like explosions.
yes,
And fireballs.
and not
kind of
a
bad.
small explosion. Like you
A
said that when it
helicopter.
happened, like that was a significant
Yes.
detonation. And then from there, they essentially not retire him, but the main character, he gets injured. And again, I should just write these things down when I watch the movie because I still don't know this guy's name.
Isn't it Ben?
Ben, thank you. He gets injured. He gets stranded. They rescue him. His best friend dies as a result of the accident, and
his whole team.
and the whole crew on the
He's the
helicopter.
only one who survives.
Ugh.
But he rescues his friend, and they ride out the storm in a rescue raft. But his injuries are too bad. So
And it's freezing because, as an aside, water rescues are cold anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're doing them in Kodiak, Alaska,
This ain't
They
the
are
Bahamas, people.
very, very, very cold.
right.
Very cold.
Yep, and that's a theme that happens later on in the movie too. That comes back a couple
Yes.
times. Anyway, so he gets kind of reassigned during his kind of recovery and rehabilitation period to teach at this A school in Louisiana.
They're in Louisiana?
I didn't pick that up.
I thought they were in Alaska still. Are they in Fairbanks?
I will find the quote, but she says it.
Amber's on it.
They're in
All right.
Louisiana.
We're going to do some fact checking here.
I had no idea they were in Louisiana.
Anyway.
He's talking to the bartender.
Yeah.
Right. And the bartender says she's talking about why his wife isn't with him.
Yeah.
And he says she has work back home.
I thought he said Seattle.
And she says, work, huh? She'd rather be in Kodiak, Alaska than Louisiana. But maybe I'm misremembering how the conversation went.
Located in Louisiana.
Really?
Booyah.
The training scenes were actually filmed in the state of Louisiana.
I had no idea they were
including
in.
locations
Nice.
around Shreveport.
Because then they fly back to Anchorage at the end,
Yeah.
right? And they land at the base.
In reality, the A school is located in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
I had no idea they were in
So,
Louisiana that whole time.
If you want to go to Coast Guard Swimming School, it's in North Carolina.
So there you go.
Huh. Okay.
Thanks, Google.
Okay.
Thanks, Google.
I guess there's that scene where that guy's talking about like when Katrina happened, they flew in all these people from all over the country, but they had all been trained the same way.
Right.
So they didn't have any like trouble communicating
Right.
because they all know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wouldn't necessarily have to be that was the scene was in Louisiana because everybody went to Katrina, right? So
I guess they have a live jazz band at that bar.
Yeah.
and they're running
doesn't
around
seem like-
outside in shorts and t-shirts.
Right. I just figured it was summertime in Alaska.
So it was 30 degrees.
Aren't the summers pretty like mild up there?
Shorts, and
Depends on where you
t-shirt
are.
weather.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I had no idea that they were in Louisiana.
There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, it's in Louisiana.
Thad was really into this
Established.
movie, but not that into
I didn't.
this movie.
Okay. I didn't know they were in Louisiana when it happened. They talk about Alaska the entire time.
They're making you think it's Alaska.
Okay, so Ben's whole job is based in
worked.
Kodiak, right?
Yeah.
That's where he lives, that's where he works,
Senior,
that's where the-
senior chief.
Yeah, that's where the base is.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the part that they fly to Alaska. But then during the graduation, they say like where everybody's being assigned.
Yeah.
They say like, hey, you're going to Florida and you're going to North Carolina and you're going to Alaska and you're going to.
Yep.
So, okay. Yeah, didn't know that was in Louisiana.
There you go.
They don't eat any crawfish during the movie.
That you know of.
How else are we
I just
supposed to know
assumed
it's
they
in
have to
Louisiana?
be eating crawfish
I
in
didn't see a
Louisiana.
single
They-
Only
crawfish.
food they eat
They need
in
to
the
have a-
entire state.
That's
They-
a whole
there was
Just
diet.
have fish boils.
There was no shrimp bowl.
Boiled shrimp, fried shrimp. That's about all.
All right,
I have a
Forrest Gump.
friend and colleague who practices in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Okay.
He talks about
Like that.
crawfish boils and
That sounds so cool.
it's yummy.
It's spicy though, ain't it?
Can be.
God, I can't.
I mean,
do
done
that.
right. Not a spicy person, huh? Something about growing up in Southwest Minnesota.
Yeah, I can't handle the spice.
They season with dairy up there instead of
Everything tastes like milk.
just add a little more butter and
Yeah.
some cream soup.
Oh,
It'll be okay.
good stuff.
Sticks to your bones.
Don't you know?
Now you two, well, I guess all three of you, have worked in education in some capacity, right?
Yep.
And this movie is about a school. Now, watching this with Trista, she was always like, "Oh, that's a great teaching method. Like this is it's effective with students. That's why they're learning." Right? Did you kind of approach this in your various departments of education?
It was hard for me because my area of education was 4-year-olds.
Okay.
So
Probably
4-year-olds
not
are
sticking
very
them in a pool full of ice.
different than trying to drown the rescue swimmer trainees. So that was a little hard for me to translate.
All right.
I think from what I knew to
Get in the,
the
pool.
movie.
I can't swim. Get in the pool.
tread water
what I
for as
said.
long as you can.
But Mrs. Van Dyke, I can't swim.
Yeah. No, honestly, I didn't really look at it through that lens so much. That is a good question, though. I maybe should have been doing that.
I didn't really either. I looked at more through I mean, I grew up with my dad in the military and that kind of thing. It struck me much more from my military background and I worked in education, but I wasn't a teacher. I wasn't teaching classes. I was some of the more mentor stuff, maybe.
Sure, yeah. I did teach a little bit in at the local college for a couple of years, but yeah, I mean, I'm not a teacher by trade by any stretch.
I think the stretch for him going from practicing to teaching, he even has a scene where he's like resisting this. Like, I don't want to go teach. Like,
yeah.
And the main commander basically just says, like, you have to share this.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to teach these people because you're the only one who knows how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you see that when he comes in and he changes how they do things, right? Yep. And there are a couple of scenes where that is really obvious. He has some interactions with some of the other trainers.
Yep.
But then the head of the school, there's one scene where they burst into the classroom where they're supposed to be doing the training and they're not there. And it's because he's got this class of rescue swimmer recruits in a vat of ice water, learning about the stages of hypothermia by experiencing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like,
you were supposed to give a PowerPoint presentation on this.
You were supposed to teach them. He was like, in about a minute and a half, they're going to know exactly. I was like, yeah, speaking of teaching methods that you can't do now.
True.
Except maybe in the military.
Again, except in the military.
Mm-hmm. Did any of the things in the movie surprise you? I mean, I know most of us didn't know anything about Coast Guard school, but talk about jobs that you don't realize exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, you don't think about that until...
Well, we forget, you think of the branches of the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody from the center of the country thinks of the Coast Guard.
Right. Even
though there's a Coast Guard base in Omaha. Did you know that?
What?
Yep.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Why?
Protects America's waterways.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you feel like they wish they were out on the ocean?
I mean, I don't know. If I was in the Coast Guard, I probably would.
Those are the ones who did not pass A school.
Right.
You're thrown out on the first day.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Worst posting ever.
We can't put you on the water, but we do have this base.
As far from the water as it is possible to be.
Completely landlocked state.
I didn't know. I mean, I know about the Air Force base down there, but I didn't know they had a Coast Guard base in Omaha.
But yeah, we don't think of the Coast Guard as military.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about the Coast Guard's out doing a rescue, boats in a hurricane or whatever it is. But it's so few and far between that it makes the news. And they talk about that. They talk about that in this movie where they're talking about if you make it through this training, you will be able to be underpaid and all these bad things about being in the Coast Guard and save lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of competition between military branches. If you have had any
that's in this movie
dealings with the military, but the way the people in the Navy bar think of them as just second-class citizens, like there is some other branches of the military do not consider the Coast Guard to be real military kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Space Force.
Mm-hmm.
That you definitely see play out in this movie that it's definitely military training that they're going through and it's definitely really intense. But they say at one point, because we don't
it's not combat
based. That
Ben
we're not
says
considered military enough to be part of this group or that sort of thing.
That was something that surprised me the first time I watched it. I think I was in high school, but I had just thought naively that they all work together and they're like, oh, hey, you're part of the military too. Let's be buddies because we're all saving lives in one way or another. I just thought that they were all going to be nice to each other. And they're not. They're so cliquey.
Different branches of the military are not.
Yeah.
My dad is an Army guy, and when my brother joined the Air Force, I think he needed to take a step of faith there that was the right decision. They do not look upon each other kindly, most branches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not something I knew.
Is that Is that how attorneys feel about people who like practice other?
That's how
You're a
attorneys
family
feel
law
about
attorney.
all other attorneys.
You're a
just
personal
in
injury
general.
firm.
I'm gonna beat you up at the
Gonna
bar.
go eat with the estate planners.
Second-class citizens.
Well, they're not lawsuit based, so
No conflict.
yeah.
Another thing that
It's not high
surprised me.
stakes.
Sorry. Another thing that surprised me about this movie is that they're training in pools all the time.
Mhm.
I had also just thought they would just go train in the ocean because that's where they're gonna go work.
Yeah.
But no, they're in like legit like pools.
Uh-huh.
There's no waves out there, but they're learning like all the tactics.
Right.
So
Right.
I just thought that maybe they would just throw them in the ocean. Be like, okay,
Yeah.
do your thing.
Thad, have you ever been to Camp Dodge in
Oh
Des
yeah,
Moines?
yeah. So they had like a 40-foot deep swimming pool.
Yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
yeah.
Olympic sized.
Yeah.
And my dad
Ah.
talks about like
Having to
having to
do
jump out of helicopters
parachute
into,
training.
into that pool and things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. I
So,
don't think I could
Right
do
in Des
that.
Moines, they are doing the water landing in their
Yeah.
pool.
In their pool.
They have a sick obstacle course too.
Uh-huh.
In the pool?
No, on the base.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A pool obstacle course. I was like,
Cool.
Thad, do you have a favorite character?
Oof.
ooh.
I mean, I related to Jake through the movie just because he was, he was on the swim team and he was the new guy and he was kind of cocky.
Goldfish.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard not to pick Jake for me. I think it's easy to like Hodge too.
Yeah.
Because he's resilient.
Keeps coming back.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even though he knew his limitation, right? He was getting everything else right, so he kept failing because of this one thing. And the one of the peak moments in the movie is when he overcomes this obstacle. So, yeah, I'll go with Hodge. That's my favorite character,
Sure.
It's a pretty good pick.
Charlie Hodge.
I like Senior Chief. I feel like it's hard not to like Senior Chief.
Yeah.
Sure, Ben Randall.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
What do you
just
like
so
about him?
cool. I like I said, I've seen this movie before,
Mhm.
like at least twice. And the sacrifice that he makes at the end of the movie just like sticks with me the whole time. And that's
Mhm.
what I think about the whole movie every time I rewatch it. And so that really sticks with me. I don't know. I like the way that he took Goldfish under his wing too and was like, "You're a cocky little punk, but I think we can make this work." I think he was a good mentor for him because he handled everything that he threw at him, being a cocky little punk, but then he's like, you really do have potential.
Yeah.
And so they stuck through it together and they were partners in a rescue at the end. So
Yeah.
that was really cool to see.
Yeah. And then he goes and rescues him.
Mm-hmm.
The backstroker on my relay team, his last name was Fisher, so we all called him Goldfish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have
Nice.
to. There's nothing else you can
What else
call
do
him
you
at that
do?
point.
Amber.
I actually found both of the two main characters really compelling, but as a side note, I also love anytime there's the sassy knows everything bartender character is always my favorite character in every movie.
Maggie.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And I was just like, she was the one that every time she appeared on screen, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good scene. So generally just compelling, likable main characters. I could like rooting for both of them. But yeah, the one that made me happy to see on screen all the time was Maggie the bartender, because I like that unconventionally wise kind of character in a movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about you, Ethan?
I mean, you guys really have it pretty well locked in. I mean,
Sure.
I like I like Jake. I like Ben. But I think for interest's sake, I actually really thought his girlfriend, Daisy Buchanan,
What? It's something stupid like Emily Thompson or something.
Yeah. Really generic name.
Yeah, they picked the most generic name in the
Emily
world for her.
Thompson.
This is the girl next door character.
Yeah. I liked her because she was savvy and she wasn't going to take his crap and she wasn't going to, but she was going to take everybody else's crap. Like she was fully prepared to take half that money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like that was my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Really?
Because it was, she turned it on its head immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was. I just thought that was her character was really. It was she was introduced very confidently.
Yeah,
and I liked that.
How much time do you got?
Yeah,
about 20 seconds.
Also think
you want to get out of here?
Honorable mention of good characters should go to the other swim instructor who probably got his job somewhat taken over by Ben coming in. The one who gets his nose broken at the end in the pool.
Hodge punches him in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember his name right off either, but
we all know who you're talking about. He's in like 50 military movies.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I said. He came on screen. I was like, oh, it's the military actor from every movie.
It's the military guy.
He's in Saving Private Ryan. He's everywhere.
He's in everything.
Starship Troopers. I mean, all the real authentic military.
Is this the guy with
movies.
like the big bright blue eyes?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, he's in Paul Blart Mall Cop, just so everyone else knows that.
Another military movie.
If the Coast Guard is hardly military, mall cops definitely are not. But he just had some really good character development from kind of being like
he was really hostile.
Been doing this really well for a long time, and you're coming in and telling us we're doing it wrong. To by the end, he was the most enthusiastic, about everything.
He gets elbowed in the face and then gets out of the pool and hugs the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So
I told you my favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have a favorite scene that they want to mention? Or stew on that. Maybe if we have a game, we can do favorite scenes after the game.
I got mine too, yeah.
When Jake and Ben go back to the Navy bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good scene.
They're coming off of this really emotional peak where they finally build a bridge and connect to one another.
They find the thing in common. Yeah. And it's a tragedy, and that's...
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they bond, and then they know what they're getting into.
Well, Ben does. And Jake sort of does. He's like, are you sure we should go in here?
Yeah. And then they have this apology at the end, which is very one-sided.
You're terrible at apologies.
That was funny.
that interaction, we've connected, we've been through something together now, and now I'm trying to he's reaching out in an emotional way, and Ben just doesn't respond. And I loved that because they could have, right? They could have hugged, and they could have now we're best friends. I think I talked about the musical when we did The Greatest Showman. These characters didn't agree, and then they sang a song and danced together, and now they're best friends, and I hate that. So seeing
that's
this movie...
That's how musicals work.
That's how they work.
That is how musicals work.
So seeing this one where they go through this emotional trauma, and they go through this battle together, in a sense, right? And then they don't walk out of it best friends. I was just like...
And it was so crucial for them to stay mentor-student instead of, he still had to earn his way and never quite equalized himself with Ben's greatness. And I think that non-apology from Ben was crucial for keeping them on that mentor-student playing field.
How about you two?
Mine is cliche, probably, but I love that end scene where Jake goes out to rescue that swimmer by himself, right? Because Ben's gone now. And then the swimmer that he brings into the helicopter is like, where's the other guy that was out there helping me? He said he was out there. He wasn't going to let me go, and then Jake looks out to the ocean. He's like, oh, Ben's still out there.
And it calls back to the scene at the beginning of the movie where he's talking about, there's a legend of a force, a being under the water that pushes you up to the surface.
Yeah, and sticks with you till the help comes or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one just gets me every time.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked the sort of response, bookending the movie with that.
Yeah.
Amber?
I actually liked the scene where the record-breaking day, where they kind of set up Jack to, like, they know he's going to just... Jake. Yeah, Jake. They know he's just going to bust every record, and Ben knows it, and, like, slowly, as he pretty handily breaks one after another, Jake is starting to realize that, oh, you were setting me up to realize that, like,
these aren't that important.
These aren't. This they're like what this is about.
Celebrating him being like, good job. And it's like not he's genuine.
Fast.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I am. And then he's like, oh.
Yeah. Kind of just as a, I don't know, maybe that's a teaching methods thing, but it's the whole scene where they just like get him back in the head of this isn't about winning. This is about teamwork and sacrifice and working together, not blowing everybody else out of the water. And to do that by letting him show off for a whole day, basically. Yeah. We're going to get this out of your system and show you that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting scene.
So there's a couple of moments that kind of along those lines where you see the point without them having to say it. And in a couple of instances, it's something that gets said over here in the movie, and then 20 minutes later, something else gets said, and you're like, oh. There's a scene where, and I don't remember who he's talking to, but Jake is talking to somebody and says, maybe it was the girlfriend. He basically says, I killed some guys and had to get out of town.
Yeah.
And he says it in a joking kind of brushing off the question kind of way.
Oh, yeah.
And then later you see the scene when he's that you brought up, Thad, where he's talking to Ben about, right? Ben brings it up and how his relay team was all killed in a car that he was driving. And you go, oh,
yeah.
He wasn't joking. He just played it off.
Yeah.
And like those moments were interesting to me.
When Emily's looking at his arm and says like, oh, what are all these tattoos for? Like,
yeah.
Drunken night gone wrong. And he goes, yeah, something like that. Like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My second favorite scene, though, is the scene at the beginning of the movie when Ben is getting off the helicopter and walking into the hangar, and the couple that he just rescued from the ocean is fighting because the guy basically threw his wife, like shoved her underwater to get on the cage going up and almost killed her. And Ben saves her life, does CPR. She comes back on the helicopter and the guy's all hugging her, and they get on the ground and she's on a stretcher or on a gurney, and he just wailing on him when he tries to come over. That made me laugh.
Oh,
that is funny.
I'm sure we'll bring that one up later, won't we? Okay. Amber, do you have a game for us?
Subtle foreshadowing. I do. Okay. This game is not of my own making, but it is called Command Approves or Command Denies. So we're all going to take turns being the person who is command, right? The other three of us are going to be rescue swimmers. I'm going to say aloud a ridiculous scenario. The swimmers have to talk together about the best solution to save whoever is out on the water or like fix the situation, right? And then whoever is command will either approve or deny their proposal for saving the people in the water.
Okay. We have 20 minutes to bingo.
What?
5 minutes to bingo.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first scenario.
Don't crash the helicopter. You said we're all taking turns?
Yeah, we can all be turns being command.
Okay, got it.
Who wants to be command first?
Ethan.
All right.
Ethan is command. Okay, so Thad, Amber, and I are going to be rescue swimmers. Here's our situation. A man is stranded on a dead jet ski refusing rescue until he finishes performing a dramatic monologue he wrote called To Float or Not to Float. He's getting waves and water splashed in his face, but he insists this is his moment. So now the three of us have to talk about how to save this man.
So we're saving him via helicopter. We know that it runs on fuel. And he wants to finish his monologue.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's on a stranded, dead jet ski.
Okay. I think we forcibly put him in the basket.
I think so too.
No, but it's his moment. He doesn't want to stop his monologue.
That's fine.
That's fine. You caught me monologuing.
Exactly. Yeah, I
You
say,
don't understand the brand of theater kid we're dealing with.
I say we knock him out and we put him in a basket.
I know that brand of theater kid.
Amber knows.
We just need to put him in the basket.
Put him in the basket.
I say put him in the basket. Get him a spotlight. Someone up in the helicopter's got a flashlight on him.
He can monologue on the way
He's
up.
gonna monologue. It'd be so cool for him. He's got a flashlight. That's a spotlight. He's rising up out of the water. We'll get him a megaphone or something. Okay.
Oh man.
It's like a lift system.
Get this man in the basket. Make it as dramatic as possible, but get him off the jet ski.
All right. We give him a flare. Those last 30 to 45 minutes.
There you go.
We tell him to light his flare when he is done.
To float or not to float should not last 30 minutes. I hope.
And-
Well, it might be a soliloquy.
Is he holding a skull?
He can be.
Where did he get that?
Okay, so we're proposing
All right,
spotlight, flashlight. Put him
Okay.
in the basket. Slowly race him up while he finishes his monologue.
Yep.
Give him a flare.
Yep.
For what reason?
So we can leave, and then when he's done,
come
we can come back.
No, we can't leave him
Why not?
because he'll probably just keep monologuing.
Yeah, he might.
We have to save him, Thad. That's the goal.
What's your vote, Amber?
I'm going with we haul him up now and give him the spotlight.
Okay.
I like that better.
Okay,
Command.
command. Do you approve or deny?
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I approve.
Yes.
Of which one?
Command
I
approves.
feel like these are.
I approve of forcibly removing him from the jet ski
Yeah. Spotlight,
in
megaphone.
the basket.
So there's
Spotlight on him.
there's a scene in
going
the
up.
movie where one of the guys is like, "I can't leave my kayak." Remember this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like, is he upset that we leave his jet ski?
Probably, but
That's what you get for being on a jet ski out in the middle of the ocean.
I think he's more focused on
Then
his
we've
monologue
got a,
and his moment.
Incredibles moment where you didn't save my life, you ruined my death.
so cool.
He didn't want to be saved.
Yeah. Didn't
Now
want
his
to be
injuries
saved.
cause him daily pain. Okay, so command approves. Yay!
Command approves.
Who wants to be command next time?
Amber.
Okay,
Amber, are you command? Okay.
sure.
All right. A yacht is drifting because everyone on board is in a heated argument about charcuterie. The captain refuses to admit he's lost because men don't ask for directions, and he has thrown the GPS in the ocean.
How
Now-
many are there?
We rescue them. I'm assuming this is like a larger
A
party.
huge party.
Well,
On
it's
a
a yacht.
Yeah, he said cruise of like 5 to 20, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll assume 20.
How long were they out on the water?
I didn't write that down.
Is it taking on water?
Well-
I mean, something in the ballpark of 3 hours.
Yeah. He's lost, refusing to use the GPS that he threw out, and everyone's also mad about charcuterie.
Is there a billionaire on the yacht?
I would assume so.
Any actresses?
We can say that they're there too. I don't know.
I see where this is going.
What are you doing?
Ships that sail. Gilligan's Island.
Uncharted desert of
With Gilligan. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
the skipper too.
Dee-dee-dee-dee. All right. Anyway, it's not. And his wife.
Okay, we gotta be done.
The movie star.
So, okay, here's what I'm going to give the situation of the captain to you guys because he's saying men don't ask for directions. So as men, you have to talk to him and relate to him.
Is it
And
daytime
I
or
think-
nighttime?
I would assume it's like daytime. Like they're on it's like an afternoon thing, but it's gone way too long. I'm going to go deal with the charcuterie instance.
Do it.
All right. Is the ship adrift? Like, what I mean by that is, does it have the ability to move? Like, does it have fuel? Or is it just?
I think we're getting close to being out of fuel.
Okay. We're 5 minutes to bingo.
5 minutes to bingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bingo.
That's why we're out there because
Because they're
he's
not
just
going to be
been-
able to get
he's
back.
just been driving around for way too long.
Because they're
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to just leave this boat stranded.
Correct. I agree.
And we can't basket 20 people up.
Nope.
I think
we can't even hold 20 people in the helicopter.
Right. So is there a way that we can like transport fuel to the yacht?
Well, that's a good question.
From the helicopter onto the yacht?
I think we'd radio for boats. Like let's pull or move this thing.
Like a tugboat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tugboat.
Well, or bringing fuel, right?
Sure.
Same kind of deal.
I think.
And then let him figure it out. Mm-hmm. But also, I think he needs to be arrested because I'm quite certain that if you're out in the ocean, you're not allowed to throw your GPS in the water.
I think here's what we do.
As long as there's somebody you can hear on there.
I think we learned the last time that the Coast
One of
Guard
you
is gonna
guys
have something to say about that too.
starts driving the boat, okay? One of you guys starts driving the boat. I'll take the captain over to the kitchen and I will make him the best charcuterie board he has ever seen in his life. One that he is really happy about, right? So then he calms down.
Make sure you use coconut.
Charcuterie board is taken care of. One of you is driving because you know how to get back.
Do you know how to drive a boat?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never driven a boat.
I mean, I've never driven a yacht, but I
Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Is it
It's
different
just
than
a
a
yacht.
pontoon?
What?
Is it different than a pontoon?
I'm certain that it's exactly the same as a pontoon boat.
Okay, cool. Then
And
you
if
should be
there's
good.
anyone getting really crabby about charcuterie, we bring them onto the helicopter and get them off the boat because they're just causing confusion and delay.
Mm-hmm. We remove the team member that's causing issues.
I said what I said. Okay, do we like that plan?
I don't know. Amber, do you like the plan?
So the plan is Ethan's driving the boat back.
We have some tugboats out there as
Yeah,
well.
I
Got
coordinate the
some tugboats.
tugboats.
That's coordinating the tugboats.
Amber
Fluid
removes
fuel.
the people that are causing problems.
Charcuterie people are in the helicopter.
Okay.
I'm also making charcuterie boards.
Amber just proposed this as a scenario because she wanted to make charcuterie. I think we know what we're having for lunch today.
She's doing a party planner. Yeah, I approve.
Nice.
Great.
Good.
Thank you.
Rubber stamp that one.
All right, AVD, it's your turn to
To be command? Okay. Okay, then I'll give this one to you guys.
Oh, dear.
A paid mermaid performer's tail is stuck. She can't swim properly. You have to rescue her, but she insists that you address her as Your Majesty.
It's fine.
That's fine.
Get in the cage, Your Majesty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can her contraption fit in the basket?
So she's got like a fake mermaid tail on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stuck. I'm
Probably.
assuming there's like rocks.
Is she in the ocean?
Yeah. Maybe there's like a randomly really tall rock and she's like swimming out there. She's like, I'm a mermaid. And then gets stuck on a rock or something and she's low key kind of drowning.
Because of her device.
Because of her
tail is
mermaid tail.
pulling her
But
under.
she's Your Majesty. You have to rescue her as a mermaid. Like I'm assuming it's like for a little kid's party or something and they can't find out that she's actually not a mermaid or something.
If she's gonna drown, if I don't call her Your Majesty, we'll go with whatever to get her out of the water, I think.
That's what I'm thinking.
Are there any crustaceans around?
Oh my gosh.
How many movies can we
Is she
roll?
combing her hair with a fork?
Oh, seagulls.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, they're there.
We probably don't want the seagull to sing to her because they're going to sound bad. But maybe if there was like a lobster.
Say if she takes off her tail, does she lose her voice?
Oh,
She can't take off her tail.
It's like surgically implanted.
Can't take off her
No.
tail.
No, it's
that's-
stuck.
Oh, it's stuck in the rocks.
It's stuck,
She
but
can't
also
remove
like,
it.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're not going to sing to her.
Yep.
And there's certainly not going to be a hot crustacean band.
Does she have like carabiners that are
Okay.
attached?
I was going to say, so at this point, I am happy to call her Your Majesty, but if her tail is stuck, she can't take it off, she's not going anywhere either.
Yeah, she's still stuck.
Yeah, you guys got to unstuck her.
Well, we don't know how to do that because we don't know what she's stuck on.
A rock.
Her ego.
Sounds like
But it wasn't a rock. I mean, we move the rock.
Okay.
Or we cut off the tail.
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll call her whatever she wants while we're doing that.
So there's the scene where all the guys are tied together and floating in there, and they have to like just pull out a knife and start. We got to get you out. Like if we can get one of you out of this, that's worth it. So yeah, we cut her out.
Yeah.
Jaws of life.
I think we have to cut off the tail.
Yeah.
That's because that's the thing that's stuck.
Yep.
I want to deny
Why?
because she needs her tail.
For what?
She's a performer. So if she
Oh my gosh.
if she
She's
loses
going
the tail,
to die.
I know.
Would she be disabled then if she loses her tail? You can't do my job anymore.
Yeah, exactly. She's out of work. She's out of work.
No, because she can work. She just can't work as a mermaid.
No, logically, I would approve. There's really nothing else you can do. But for her sake,
Would
lost
it
her
have
mermaid
made
tail.
it more appealing if we'd sung a fun song
while you're doing it,
about fish?
yeah,
Keep the performance going.
yeah.
Is the seaweed always greener?
And somebody else is like,
All right, Thad, it's your turn to be command.
I'll be command.
The place plays the bass.
Okay. A truck transporting exotic fish ends up partially submerged while going across a ramp. Someone insists that you prioritize saving Steve, a very expensive koi fish with emotional support certification. We have to save Steve.
so now we're doing
All
Finding
right,
Dory.
so my solution is probably I quit.
Quit. We're not saving your fish from water.
No, you have
If we
to.
put him in a basket, he'll die. Then we're gonna have to put him in a frying basket.
He can't go out into the ocean though, Thad, because then we lose our emotional support certified koi fish.
Is he wearing some sort of vet? No, I'm not the problem solver here. You guys
You
have to
are
figure
not.
this out.
Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
We rescue the driver.
All drains lead to the ocean.
Start by rescuing the driver.
Rescue
yes.
the driver. Have the driver hold Steve in like a little baggie or whatever. What is so funny? I missed something. I'm trying to save Steve right now.
Okay.
Let's make it happen.
You guys are
All
laughing
right.
at Steve. Thad's crying.
Scenarios. Come.
I'm saying put the driver in the basket, right? Attached to the helicopter. Have him hold Steve. Steve's in like a little baggie or something from like Finding Nemo, right?
Sure.
Rescue the driver and Steve at the same time.
I'm okay with that. I don't want to go back for a fish.
That's the thing. Like obviously the human is way more important.
If the mission includes save the fish,
Steve
then,
is top priority.
yeah, Steve has to be saved, but the driver has to be saved first because he just does.
The driver is holding Steve.
Okay. I'm good with that.
I have a question. Do we speak whale?
Yeah,
All right,
I do.
so we speak whale.
I speak whale.
What if we call a whale to come and
Save the other fish.
save the fish and we get the driver out?
With Steve. Driver plus Steve is in the basket. Whale comes to save the rest of the fish. Because Amber and I can speak whale.
Exactly.
Perfect. I love
Okay,
that.
Cool.
Okay, Thad, do you approve or deny?
Emphatically approve. That's a great plan.
Emphatically approved.
Yay.
All right. You got more scenarios?
I do, but then I don't have enough for all of us to go one more time.
Yeah. That's probably enough scenarios.
That's enough scenarios. All right.
Okay,
Thanks,
I got
Amber.
more. We can play during lunch.
That's fine.
Or for our charcuterie.
Yep. And
That was a
didn't-
different kind of game. That was funny.
Yeah. Just a
who
little
won?
goofy.
We all did.
Steve the fish.
Everybody's a winner.
Steve the fish definitely
Steve.
won that
Steve
game.
Everyone's a winner.
The friends we made along the way, Thad.
So every movie is an estate planning movie,
Yes.
given our motto of the podcast.
Indeed it is.
There, well, let's just start. What were the themes that we noticed? And how can we dive into them?
Oh. Probably in a seated position.
Looking left, looking center, looking right.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Okay, hold on. I got to think. If anyone else has anything to say, go.
Well, Guardian isn't the name of the film, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
do deal with guardianship
Yes, we do.
here and there. I think we deal with a couple of things in this movie, though. The three areas of law we practice are obviously estate planning, and then probates, and then elder law. The film is essentially about a guy who isn't too old for his job, but it's about training the next generation to take its place, right?
Uh-huh.
Within that, we have this this constant, I guess, theme of incapacitation, because he's doing his job, but then things will trigger his PTSD.
Sure.
And he can't make decisions that he used to make. Right? At one point, they're rescuing kayakers, and he freezes up in the water because he sees a flare, he sees somebody in a helmet, right? Like he can't do it anymore. And Jake has to basically show up, take command, start giving him instructions for how they're going to leave.
Yeah.
And then later he's on the helicopter and the crew is like, "What's wrong with Ben?" And he's like, He's fine. He's just tired." Right? Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
So we deal with clients all the time who are like, "Oh yeah, they're totally fine. They can still make decisions," when everybody knows they're not fine anymore.
That's kind of the direction that I was thinking about this movie too. Other legal planning elements we have added. I mean, Ben gets served with divorce papers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing that we talk about immediately.
That's my
edits
chair.
your yeah.
So the guys drop
Changes
it.
your planning.
Like in the mud, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who's, if you're not married anymore, who makes your decisions if you can't?
Right.
So at
She
the end of
shows
the
up at
movie,
the hospital.
I was
She still
so
has
mad.
power of attorney.
I was so mad about that.
Why?
About what part?
She filed divorce papers.
They weren't divorced yet, though.
She served him with divorce papers. She was done with that marriage.
Does that mean she's not power of attorney anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it didn't make sense to me that all of a sudden she's not trying to get rid of him.
Okay.
Just because he's not
Just because
diving
he's
anymore.
not diving.
Mm-hmm.
So then when he dies at the end of the movie.
She shows up at the hospital. That's what I was saying. That scene, I was
Okay,
like,
yes,
what are
that's
you
what you're talking
doing?
about.
You don't get it both ways.
So they weren't officially divorced.
No, he's signed it.
Separated.
Yeah.
They were separated. Okay.
We assume that they were officially divorced because the papers are signed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then she's not power of attorney anymore.
It's well, not necessarily.
Depending on how the power of
Depends on how the
attorney
power of
was
attorney is written. And that's the
It depends.
that's the legal question,
It
right?
depends.
It's
We should
the
retitle the podcast. This is now the It Depends podcast.
the documents we prepare for people
Mm-hmm.
have conditions in them that say this power of attorney ends if these things are true. And one of them is a written revocation where you say I revoke.
Sure.
But another way that it ends is if you are separated or divorced or in a divorce proceeding is actually, I think, how we phrase it. You don't get to be that person's agent anymore because you can't make a decision in their best interest. You have a fundamental conflict of interest.
Ooh, I have a question. So let's say the power of attorney didn't say that, right? Like they're divorced.
Uh-huh.
Power of attorney did not specifically lay out like, divorced means you're not power of attorney anymore.
Happens all the time.
She takes back her maiden name. So now she has a different last name than what he put her down for as his power of attorney. Is that making sense? Can she still serve as his power of attorney, even though it's her maiden name now?
Yeah.
Because she's a different person.
Same thing if you appoint a child as your power of attorney and they get married and change their last name.
Okay, so that's not a big deal.
No.
I thought I had something. Okay.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. And maybe a bank or a financial institution would say, well, you have to prove that you're that person. But so you bring a birth certificate.
Yeah. Okay. I think we talked about this on the Thursday Murder Club, but since they couldn't find his body, right? They conducted that search and never found him.
Yeah.
What does that mean for his estate planning documents?
That's a good question. If he's presumed dead,
Was it 30 days?
that was on the whether he's incapacitated or not, right? But if he's presumed dead, and I don't know what the rules are in terms of lost at sea and yada yada, but then they would have an estate proceeding and all of that, just like you would if they were confirmed dead. But the incapacity question is an interesting one because there again, what does the document say, and are you authorized to serve as his agent if he's just missing?
Because some people were like, legend has it he's living on an island.
Right.
So then he's not dead.
Standing on the beach fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, things that we don't think about just watching the movie to watch the movie, right?
Right,
Like you
right.
you hear that at the end, and oh yeah, that's fun. He's on a beach fishing. Wait, what about his house?
They did an entire probate.
That is interesting. So they talk in the movie during divorce, like, this isn't going to be messy. We don't have any kids, right?
Mhm.
And then if they're divorced, he keeps the house, she moves out, and then he dies.
Who gets it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call that. I mean, if again,
It's not just kids that
It
make
depends.
a divorce
yeah,
messy.
that's true.
It can be plenty messy without.
Should have
Yeah.
given it to Jake.
There you go.
Jake shows up, takes his job, he dies, he gets to live there.
Takes his house.
So Amber's right. It depends. You know this, Thad.
I know.
But if we make some assumptions, right? If we assume he has the last will and testament, then it goes wherever his will says it goes, right? It doesn't, just because you don't have kids doesn't mean you don't write a will. In fact, in those cases, it might be more important to write a will because you don't have kids. That we don't have a default, like everybody knows it goes to your kids kind of a situation.
Yep.
But the law actually treats that like we call it the government's plan. And it's called the rules of intestacy. And if he didn't have a will in place, it would go to his heirs at law. And every state has kind of its own take on what that means. Iowa is, certain, right? If we can't go down your family tree, we'll go up to your parents and so on and so forth. And so we'll just find the closest living relative according to that method. And that's who gets it. And if there's 5 third cousins and that's the closest living relative, then we split it 5 ways.
You wouldn't give it to his wife then?
No, because they're divorced, so they're not. She doesn't have any
Yes.
rights under the rules of intestacy.
If they weren't, though, it would automatically go to her?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
There again.
It depends.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. What else? Any other major themes?
Nope.
I said what I needed to say.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious ones. I really like the legacy part of this movie. The records that Ben set, and how that is a driver for Jake. Right, he's going to break all the records, and then they do records day, and he does, and he's like, "Oh, this is stupid." But that's him living up to the legacy, right? And then in this case, Ben happens to be there, and that's another moment in the movie has some comedy to it, but.
Yeah, they talked a lot about this. Am I ready for this role?
Yeah.
And Ben says, if you weren't ready, I wouldn't have passed you. Right? Like this torch passing, but also what is the legacy Ben left?
Yeah.
Okay. You're ready to carry this.
Yeah. I wouldn't pass you in this class if you couldn't handle it. So there's some we talk about fiduciary selection with clients and who's going to be your trustee and who's going to be your executor and things like that. And that's kind of what that is kind of, there's a parallel there where, well, I don't want to put somebody in that role who can't handle it. I agree. And we definitely don't want that, but you can't just assume that your kids can't handle it, or you can't assume that one of your kids is going to need the other kids to help them.
Sure.
Right. Like you have to think critically about skill set and ability, but also reality and say, well, I don't want them to have to do all this extra work. Well, then they need to hire someone to help them. And that's the kind of work that we do. But then there's also, I don't want them to, I don't want it to be difficult. Well, I mean, in some cases, people have a house, people have investments. I mean, your life isn't complicated now and you're living it. So it's not going to be complicated in that way when you pass away either. There's things to figure out, but communicating ahead of time, writing things down, making a plan, that solves most of that.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do, right? We're here to help people solve those problems. So then when their successor, right? When Jake encounters that, he's equipped. He has what he needs. He's got the skills, but he's also got the instructions and the training, and he's got somebody to help him along the way, right? Command back at the base, and right. So it's going to be fine. And then later on in the movie, they talk about when they're doing the rescue, and It's actually early in the movie. It's the second rescue. They look out and there's all the bodies in the water, and they can see, they have a camera, so the command center can see what's going on. And one of the people in the command center says, it looks like they're all dead. And he says, it's not our call, right? We can say, well, it looks like this, but you, trustee, you have to decide.
Yep.
Only you understand all of what's happening in this family, in this situation. What are the concerns that we don't know about? You have to make the decision. And so we're there to guide, but we're not there to choose for you.
It's good.
Love it.
We talked about the couple at the beginning of the movie where he was drowning her. We've talked about Slayer statute a few times. If he was set to inherit from her, but he killed her in an emergency situation. Go.
You ready for the answer?
Yep.
Go.
Amber, what do you think the answer is?
It depends.
Bingo.
Oh.
What was his mental state?
I would say incapacity. He was using his lizard brain.
So then you don't, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you can't say he had intent.
Okay.
He was just trying to live. He was trying to save his own life.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you'd get somebody on intentional.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Slayer statute applies if you get into negligent or accidental death.
Sure.
It applies to murder.
Got it.
Right. So if I intentionally killed you and then want to benefit from that, I don't get to. That's what the Slayer statute is. Got so my gut reaction is probably no implication. But that's different from saying here's no liability.
Sure. My there it is moment last night watching the movie, because you're always like, hey, where's the estate planning theme, right?
Oh yeah.
The part where
every time.
There it is. At one point, Maggie and Ben are talking in the bar, and she looks over at the picture of her dead husband, and I was like, found it.
Hey, look, it's an estate planning movie.
Estate planning.
Found it.
Cool. All right. I developed a rating system where we rank each movie and give them points based off 3 categories. 1 0 to 3 point category of if they would laugh, cry, and think. We've done this plenty of times at this point. Who wants to start us off?
I'll start.
Do it.
This one gets a 1 for think.
Okay.
And it gets a 1 for think because it was, every single military academy movie told this same story.
Sure.
It had characters from all of the other same military movies that tell the same story. Like, this was exactly what I expected it to be.
Sure.
Cry gets a 1 for me.
Okay.
Because I knew about halfway through the movie that Ben was going to die to save Jake. I knew that.
You could just see it coming. Okay.
Again, every single movie. And I have been back and forth on how to rate it for laugh, and I am going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a 2.
Okay.
Because there were occasions where I laughed out loud.
Sure.
And I would not watch this movie again.
That's okay.
It gets a 4.
4. All right, Amber.
I've been thinking about laugh too, because there were humorous scenes, but I didn't laugh out loud. So I'm probably going with a 2 on that one.
Okay.
I'm going with a 1 on cry also, because I cry at everything and did not on this movie.
How?
I don't know. Maybe probably the predictability, like
okay.
Ethan said. Like, I thought the characters were well done and compelling, but not in a really got my heart kind of sense.
This movie did not make me feel about the characters the way Coda did.
Right.
Yeah.
This was a interesting and likable movie, but not a gripping movie. So there's my there were more things that made me think. Because the reason that these kinds of movies are formulaic and predictable is because it's a inspiration that humans need on repeat and need to be reminded of and need to think about. So I'm going to give it a 2 for think.
Perfect.
I probably wouldn't seek it out to watch it again.
Sure. Cool. Amber?
Alrighty. I'm going to rank this as if I was watching it for the first time.
Sure.
In high school, because I've seen it like 4 times now. So I feel like every time you rewatch it, it's like, I know what's going on, right? So first time I watched it in high school, I feel like laugh was a 1, think was a 2, cry was a 3.
Okay.
The first time I watched this, absolutely sobbed at the end and continued sobbing even after the movie was off. It took me a while to collect myself. I remember that. So I'm going to give it a 3 for cry. Like the first time I watched it, did I cry last night when I watched it? Like I teared up a little bit, but
sure. You saw it coming?
But yeah, like I knew it was coming. I'd watch it again. I have.
Wait. Tell me, go through it again, please.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Yeah.
7.
3, 1, 7.
7.
Cool. Okay. Laughing with you guys. This was not a comedy, I don't think, by any means, but I really liked Ben's characters, like very dry sense of humor.
It just, for me, it was funny enough to be better than a 1.
Sure. They had to break the tension. They can't have scene after scene of just, okay, people die on a boat. Okay.
Well, the girlfriend scams the other cadets out of money. Yep. That was funny.
Yeah. The scene where he was teaching him how to break a hold in a pool from a jail cell, and they go back to the bar where the fight happened. There were funny things to me, so 2 for that. Cry. I'm not much of a crier, but I think this one is emotionally tugging. We have the divorce happening. We have the love story between Jake and the teacher happening. We have the mentor-mentee relationship. The death at the end. I mean, I think there was enough gripping there for me to give it a 2 cry. Think is kind of the bingo category for me on this one. Here's why. It's asking the questions that keep me up at night. Right? I've said that a lot of times on a lot of these podcasts, like I didn't challenge my belief system, right? But the entire movie is, there is nothing in this job for you, and you're choosing to do it anyway because you love your fellow men, right? And where does that fit? When's it time to hang it up and share your gift with somebody else instead of doing it, right? Like the things about the military family that we talked about. Like she leaves him because he's always having to go save people's lives, right? So I got a 3 for think on this one just because it's asking all the right questions. And I've seen it a dozen times. I'll watch it again. So I'll give it an 8.
Wow. Nice. Rankings kind of across the board this time.
Yeah. That's fine. Any final thoughts?
Hoorah.
Cool.
If you turn the closed captioning on, there's no H. It's hoorah.
I did notice that. Hoorah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to 82 Toothpicks. This episode featured your hosts, Ethan, Jocelyn, Amber, and Thad breaking down the movie. Want more? Check out Ethan's book, It's Not Too Late, for insights on securing your own legacy. Visit us at heisingalaw.com for all things 82 Toothpicks, including past episodes and more. If you enjoyed the show, follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Remember, every movie is an estate planning